Hi, everybody. Welcome to, hi, there I am. Welcome to my behind the scenes live, very first broadcast. This is the very first time I've ever done anything live, so you'll have to bear with me. I'm using new software that I'm not entirely familiar with. And excuse me, I know that I also have a tendency to say a lot when I don't know what to say. So I apologize in advance, but I'm just trying this out as a new method of communicating with you all out there, and maybe just, getting in touch with people, giving my readers, friends, anybody the chance to just ask me any questions that they want to as part of this process. So if you are online, just give me a hello, just to say, let me know you're here. But otherwise, I shall crack on, and I shall really try hard to stop saying because I know I've said it about 10 times already. I'm really sorry. So this is I've done it again. I've just said again. So this is the behind the scenes live show. This is going to go out every Friday. And each week I am going to have, hopefully, a different guest. So it's not just going to be me talking like it is now. It's going to hopefully be guests who will come along with me from all walks of life. It won't just be authors. I'm going to be hopefully inviting anybody and everybody that wants to get involved, and we can have a chat for 10-15 minutes. You can find out all sorts of things about their lives and what they do, ask them questions, and I'm hoping that it's going to be a really interactive platform for not just myself but for loads of other people as well. But for the first one, right here, right now, it's just me, I'm afraid, so you're going to have to put up with that. But I have got a couple of exciting things to share with you. The first thing I wanted to do is obviously welcome you to the show and say thank you ever so much for being here. It really does mean the world to me. However you found me, whoever you are, just to know that you're here and you're supporting me. I can't tell you how much that means. The other thing to say is if you could just share this show. So if you're watching it on replay, just share it with anyone that you think might be interested, that might like what I'm doing, or might be interested in asking questions, want to know what I do, how I do what I do, etc., etc. So just there's a little box underneath in the comments, and you can just share it from there. So for those of you that don't know me, I probably should have said this first. My name is Anne-Marie Wenkol, and I am an author. I am just about to publish, hopefully in the next few weeks, my second book. And that's self-publishing my second book. I'm working basically on my own, trying to do it all as an independent author, which is incredibly hard work. My first book, When Foundations Crumble, went out in May, the end of May this year. And so far, the feedback and the report that I've had, the reviews that I've had have been really positive. So I'm really pleased with how this has gone. So the second book, which will hopefully come out, as I say, in the next few weeks, I can't be 100% certain because I'm just waiting for editing and other bits and pieces. That is called Resurrection, and I've got the exclusive reveal of the cover design here for you now. So nobody has seen this cover before. I am literally revealing it to you right this minute today. So don't go anywhere, because you will find what the new cover is going to look like for the sequel to When Foundations Crumble, Resurrection. Again, those of you that don't know me, just to tell you a little bit about what I am, I'm a person, who I am. You can tell this is my first live show. Okay, it will get better, I promise. It will be more seamless as the weeks go on. But for my first one, just to tell you a little bit about me. So basically, I'm a full-time mum. I've got two boys, 14 and 12. My youngest boy is severely disabled, and that meant that when I was kind of thinking about going back to work after I'd had the boys, it really wasn't possible. Cut a long story short, I found writing, and I just realised that I loved it and it was what I wanted to do. Since then, it's been a long road. It's taken me about, 6-7 years maybe to get When Foundations Crumble published. But I've learned so much along the way, and there's so much involved in this. You can't even begin to, sort of just explain how much is involved in literally just putting a book out there. But I love it. I absolutely love it. I can't believe that I ever thought of doing anything else. And now my goal is just to build my readership, to share my stories with you, and hopefully you'll enjoy them and love them as much as I love writing them. I write in what I call the sort of romantic suspense genre, and I like to say there's a little bit of spice, because there is. It's not bad. If you're thinking, oh no, it's tastefully written, but with every romance there has to be a certain element of spice. So you will find that in my books as well. So behind the scenes, I've recently just started rebranding everything that I'm doing with this behind the scenes concept. And the reason that I'm doing that is because, as I alluded to earlier, you will find there's so much that goes on that we just, unless we know about what a person's life is like, or what their industry is like, or what they are particularly doing, we don't generally understand what goes on behind the scenes. And I wanted to encompass that, not only to talk to you about what goes on behind my scenes, but also with the guests that I'm hoping to have on board. So we're not going to just talk about writing. I absolutely promise you that. Like I said, I'm going to have guests from all walks of life. So we're going to be looking at different industries. It will give you the opportunity to just find out what goes on behind the scenes. And that's the whole concept. So that is where behind the scenes has come from. And that's where I'm kind of rebranding myself and where I'm moving on for now. Talking about behind the scenes, when I was younger, I was an avid reader. I've always loved reading. And if I found an author who I really enjoyed, I would obviously want to read the next book and the next book and the next book and so on. So what I used to find frustrating was if, I don't know, say it was a trilogy, and I'd read the first book. And it's great if you're a bit behind, because you can maybe get the first and the second book at the same time. But if you're then waiting for the third book and you're dying to know what happens, it's really, really frustrating. Or I used to find it really frustrating. I used to think, how long does it take to write a book? Really, come on. And sometimes it's months. Sometimes it's longer than that in between books that the authors put out. And until I started this process myself, I had absolutely no idea why that would be. I thought, okay, pen, paper, write a book, print it, job done. That is so not the truth at all. And I just want to show you a picture here. So this, and don't worry, you don't actually need to read it, but this is one of my to-do lists. And this is probably for today, if I get around to doing it. If not, it will move into next week. But these are sort of 15, 20 things that I need to do, absolutely none of which are related to writing. So even though I've written the second book and, see, new technology. Even though I've written the second book and that's a way for editing and whatever, I haven't even started the third book yet. And all of those items there that I just showed you on that picture there, that's all part of making things happen for me. So it's technology, it's getting my website up and running, it's, it's just marketing, it's design, it's making sure that my email system is working, so that when you sign up to my website, you can get my free book, all of those things. And when you're doing it on your own, which is obviously what indie authors do. Oh, done it again. I will get the hang of this. When you're doing everything on your own as an indie author, you have to you have to learn so much. And so you can't you can't just kind of sit there and go, okay, I want to write, so I'm going to write. You actually have to sort of think about all the other elements that go with it. So this is, again, where I'm sort of coming from with it, because it always fascinated me as a reader how long it used to take for my next book that I was dying to read to come out. And now, obviously, as an author myself, I get to understand that. So I just really wanted to share that side of things with you, and just say that not necessarily myself, but if you have a favourite author that you're waiting for a book from, you can rest assured that they are literally working hard. It's just that there's so much that goes into it. And from a learning point of view, it's been an incredible journey. I have learned so much. I have made so many mistakes. I have got so many mistakes still to make, but it's been incredible just to find all of these things, learn all of these things, and obviously find the community as well. So that's been fantastic. Now, I mentioned that it's really exciting today because I'm going to give you the very, very first showing of the cover for Resurrection. Now, for those of you that have read When Foundations Crumble, Resurrection is the sequel to that. And Resurrection follows the story of Cal and Tammy as we left them at the end of When Foundations Crumble. It basically takes their story to the next step and hopefully brings them to a satisfactory conclusion for you. It's a very different book to When Foundations Crumble. The storyline obviously follows through, but it's written in a very different way because it needed to be written in a different way. There are some familiar characters in there. There are some new characters in there. There's lots going on, and I really, really hope that you're going to enjoy it. The premise of Resurrection, or I guess how it came about, was because when we get to the end of When Foundations Crumble, obviously we realise that the life that that Cal particularly has not been ideal, and things are just not great for him. And when I started to look at trying to rebuild his life again, it felt to me like it was almost like a resurrection, like a rebirth, in a non-religious sense. But it was just, this is how, this is what it needs to be. We need to kind of look at starting again for him particularly. And that's why this book focuses on him and on Tammy. So without further ado, I'm just going to give you the preview here. I'm just getting the technology to work of the book cover. Here we go. There we go. So that's Resurrection. That is done by my brilliantly talented designer, Rachel Lawston. And I am going to, again, when I've got the technology working, put her details up on the screen for you. Rachel has designed the whole of the sort of the theme for these books for me. So this one matches in with When Foundations Crumble, and it will also match in with the third book in the series, which is called Atonement. So when you see the two of them together, or the three of them together, you'll see how beautifully she's matched all of the covers in. So that's it. I can't tell you how exciting it is to have a new cover. It's kind of one of those sort of geeky things, I guess, as an author, that you get super excited about your cover, but it's just, when you see your name on the cover, it's just an incredible feeling. And then when you pick up the paperback, so when I first picked up this book, and I was like, crikey, I've written that, and my name's on the cover, and it's just, I can't tell you, it's such a buzz. So anyway, that's my cover design, and here is Rachel's details. So if you're looking for a cover designer, I can't recommend her highly enough. And that's where we're sort of at with that. My initial plan with these broadcasts was to keep them short and sweet, because I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. Maybe when I get some of my guests in, maybe it'll go on a little bit longer. And maybe there'll be more interaction. Maybe people will come on board live and then ask questions and things. But I think just as an initial tryout for me, just to kind of get my first broadcast out there, I'm going to leave it there. Obviously, there's only so much of me talking that you can put up with. And I was aiming for about 15 minutes, and just looking at the clock, I can see I've done about 15 minutes. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm really happy to have been able to do this for you today. I'm really happy that I've been able to show you my cover design today, and just basically thank you again for your support and everything else that all of you do. I'm going to pop you saw my agenda there. See, I'm not quite au fait with the technology there. I had to write myself a little agenda. I'm going to put my website on here for you. Okay. So if you want to pop onto my website, please do. You will be able to have sorry, I got all excited because somebody's arrived. Hi, Sandra. I've just been sat here for 15 minutes talking to myself, and I'm so excited because somebody's just turned up and said hello. So I'm thrilled. Thank you. Hi, Sandra. Lovely to see you. So as I was saying, that's my website there. If you pop onto my website, you can sign up to my my newsletter and everything there. You can enter a competition. I'm doing a monthly competition for a free signed paperback of When Foundations Crumble. If you're on my mailing list, you'll automatically be entered every single month, and then you'll be notified by email, and that will come winging its way to you in the post if you're the lucky winner. You can also download for yourself a free short stories anthology. That's there for you as well. So that's my website if any of you want to visit it. So as I say, that's it. I'm just going to keep these quite short, and I'm just going to see how they go over the time and see how it evolves. And it's been really lovely to talk to you. Any of you that have missed it, the replay will be available, and I look forward to connecting with you all again soon. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.